Between us, learn English daily.
Hey everyone, it's Grace. Today we're talking about something every English learner struggles with. How to actually start speaking confidently. Not memorizing grammar rules, not reading boring texts, but real confidence. We know many of you study every day but still freeze when someone talks to you. Today we'll break it down. Why that happens, how to fix it, and what daily habits can change everything. Stay with us. This episode can literally level up your English.
And Max, let's be honest, learning English is confusing. There's too much advice online. Shadowing flashcards, don't translate, speak to yourself, watch shows without subtitles. Most people feel lost and don't know where to start. So today we're going to simplify everything. What really matters, what doesn't, and what you should do every single day to actually improve. Let's jump in.
First, let's talk about the biggest problem. People study English, but they never use it. They say, "I'm not ready yet," or "I need more vocabulary first." But the truth is you'll never feel ready. Speaking is a skill you build only by speaking, not by waiting. Even 5 minutes of real communication is more powerful than 2 hours of passive studying. So if you feel scared or shy, that's normal. It means you need more exposure, not more rules. Start small. Talk to yourself, describe what you're doing, repeat phrases from videos. It doesn't matter how simple it sounds. Every word you say is progress.
Another important thing, people underestimate listening. Listening is not just background noise, it's training your brain to think in English. If you listen every day, even 15 minutes, your pronunciation improves, your memory improves, and most importantly, you understand conversations faster. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Understanding 40% is already good. Think of babies, they listen for years before they speak. So if you want to speak fluently, you must listen a lot. Podcasts, YouTube, movies, anything. Just make sure it's interesting to you.
Now let's talk about vocabulary. Most learners try to memorize hundreds of words and feel guilty when they forget them. But native speakers use the same 15 million to 1,000 common words all the time. Instead of learning every new word, focus on useful phrases, the things you actually say in real life. For example, "Let me think." That makes sense. "I didn't catch that." Simple but powerful. If you learn expressions, your speaking becomes natural much faster. Stop memorizing, start using.
Another mistake learners make is trying to speak perfectly. Forget perfection. Fluency is about flow, not accuracy. You can make mistakes, everyone does, even native speakers. What matters is being understood. And here's the trick. The more you speak, the fewer mistakes you make. So don't correct yourself every second. Just talk. You get better by doing, not by waiting.
Let's talk about a daily routine that actually works. You don't need 3 hours. You need consistency. Here's a simple plan. 10 minutes listening, 10 minutes speaking out loud, 510 minutes learning phrases, 5 minutes repeating what you learned. That's it to 30 minutes a day. If you repeat this for 30 days, your English will jump to a new level. Most people fail because they stop, not because they're bad at languages.
You know, Grace, what you just said about routine is so important, and I want to go even deeper. People think they need motivation to study every day, but motivation is temporary. Discipline is what keeps you improving. And discipline doesn't mean forcing yourself, it means making English a normal part of your day. Like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. When English becomes something you do automatically, without thinking, your progress becomes unstoppable. Even if some days you feel tired or distracted, those 10-30 minutes still move you forward. Because language learning is not about intensity, it's about frequency. It's better to study 20 minutes every day than 3 hours once a week. Your brain learns faster when it gets small, repeated contact with the language. So the real magic happens not in big study sessions, but in small, consistent ones.
Exactly, Max. And I want learners to understand something else. Your environment matters. If you surround yourself with English, you learn even when you're not trying. For example, change your phone language. Start listening to English music, not just for fun, but to catch familiar words. Watch short videos in English during breaks. Follow creators who teach or speak naturally. These tiny habits create what we call passive immersion. Passive immersion trains your brain even when you're not studying actively. And then, when you sit down to practice, everything feels easier. You recognize more words, your pronunciation improves, and you start thinking faster. So your routine isn't only about the minutes you study, it's about the life you build around the language.
Yeah, and speaking of life, let's talk about the biggest fear everyone has: making mistakes. People avoid speaking because they're afraid to sound stupid. But here's the truth: mistakes are not a problem, they're proof that you're learning. When you avoid speaking, your brain learns nothing. When you speak and make mistakes, your brain gets feedback. You only improve when you see where you're wrong. Even native speakers make grammar mistakes every day, they just don't care. So if a native can speak imperfectly without stress, why should a learner expect perfection? Your goal is communication, not perfection. And funny enough, when you stop worrying about mistakes, they disappear naturally.
Let's also talk about shadowing, because it's one of the most powerful techniques learners ignore. Shadowing means listening to a sentence and repeating it immediately, copying tone, rhythm, speed, and pronunciation. This method trains your mouth and brain at the same time. 5 minutes of shadowing is like a workout for your speaking muscles. You can shadow movie scenes, YouTube videos, interviews, anything. If you do this every day, your accent becomes more natural and your speaking becomes smoother. And here's the best part: you don't need to understand every word, just imitate. You learn rhythm first, vocabulary later. It's how children learn, and it works incredibly well for adults too.
Another thing people overlook is reviewing. They learn something once and expect to remember it forever. But memory doesn't work like that. If you don't review, you forget. It's normal. Reviewing is not a sign of weakness, it's how memory becomes strong. So when you learn new phrases, come back to them tomorrow, in 3 days, in a week. Think of your memory like a muscle. Repetition builds strength, and reviewing doesn't have to be boring. Turn it into a mini conversation with yourself. Use the phrase in different situations. Imagine dialogues: react, answer, expand. This kind of active review is what makes your English stick forever.
Let's dive deeper into speaking practice. Most learners wait for the right moment to speak, when they know enough, when they feel confident, when their accent is perfect. That moment never comes. The right moment is always now. You can start speaking today, even if it's simple. Talk about your day. Describe what you see. React to videos. Read aloud. You don't need a teacher or partner. You can practice alone. Speaking alone is extremely powerful because there's no pressure, no judgment, no fear. You just speak. And the more you speak, the more natural your English becomes. Fluency is not talent, it's repetition.
You know what else matters? Understanding your learning style. Some people learn best through listening, some through speaking, some through writing. There is no perfect method, only the method that works for you. If you like music, learn with music. If you like movies, learn with movies. If you like podcasts, listen to them every day. If you like structure, use textbooks. If you like freedom, learn through conversations. When you enjoy the process, you stay consistent. And when you're consistent, you improve automatically. Language learning should not feel like punishment. It should feel like growth.
Let's also talk about something people don't think about: mindset. Your mindset determines everything. If you believe English is difficult, your brain blocks progress. If you believe you're not talented, you stop trying. But if you believe you can learn, truly believe, the process becomes easier. Every time you understand a phrase or express a thought, you prove to yourself that you're capable. So be kind to yourself. Celebrate small wins. You're not just learning words, you're building confidence. And confidence is what makes fluency possible.
Let's talk practical again. Many learners ask, how do I start thinking in English? Well, it doesn't happen in one day, it grows from small habits. Begin with single words, then move to short phrases, and slowly to full thoughts. For example, instead of thinking in your native language and then translating, try to switch directly to English. Think I'm thirsty. Think where's my phone? Think I need a break. These tiny switches train your brain to use English automatically. And one day, without even noticing, You stop translating, you just speak.
And finally, let's talk about the long-term journey. Language learning never truly ends. Even natives learn new words. But that's not a problem. It's beautiful. You're not racing. You're evolving. You're building a skill that will open doors for your entire life. Imagine traveling and speaking without fear. Making international friends. Working in another country. Understanding movies, podcasts, books, everything. This is what you're working for. And every minute you invest brings you closer to that version of yourself.
So if you're listening right now, remember, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be fast. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to keep going. Consistency beats talent. Daily habits beat motivation. Small steps become big progress. And if you stay patient, really patient, your English will become natural, automatic, effortless. It's not a dream. It's just practice.
Before we finish, I have a small task for you. Today, choose 3 English phrases from this episode. Just 3, and use them in real life. Say them out loud, write them down, use them at work, or even practice in front of a mirror. The goal is simple. Don't just listen, use the language. Because real progress comes from small actions every day.
Yeah, even one phrase a day is better than 0. 0 phrases never changed anyone's English.
And if you want more episodes like this, long, simple, and useful, make sure to follow us. We post new English lessons every day, so don't miss them. Thanks for listening. See you in the next episode.
Good luck to you and bye-bye.